Quadrantal angles. A quadrantal angle is an angle whose terminal side lies along one of the coordinate axes. So notice here that we have two axes, an x and a y, but you have a positive x, a negative x, a positive y, and a negative y. So you have four sections of axes. Also keep in mind that the root word here is quad, which means the same thing as four. So you're going to have four different quadrantal angles. We will be working with both radians and degrees. To convert from radians to degrees, we use the formula radians equals pi over 180 degrees times degrees. And to convert from to degrees, we use degrees equals 180 degrees over pi times the radians that were given. And we'll use these formulas as we go to help us convert if we need to. So now let's take a look at this picture of the graph, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on it. And we're going to label some things that are missing. So I notice that if I'm doing a rotation around this graph in standard position, that my rotation begins here at the positive x-axis, right here, and that is 0 degrees. 0 degrees. And as I rotate in a counterclockwise direction, I am going to land first here on the positive y-axis, and that gives me a 90-degree rotation. And if I continue rotating in a positive direction, I land here at 180 degrees. And then I continue rotating in a positive direction, land here at 270 degrees. And continue rotating in a positive direction and land back at 0 degrees, but now I've rotated one full revolution, so this is 360 degrees. Also notice that the radians have been labeled for us already, so this would be 0 radians, pi over 2 radians, pi radians, and 3 pi over 2 radians. And if we were doing our radians in one full revolution, 360 degrees would be 2 pi radians. Now, if you're wondering where those radians came from, we could always start with the degree measure, which would be 90 degrees, and then multiply that by pi over 180 degrees to convert to radians. Notice pi over 180 is 1/2, and the degree measures would cancel, so this would be pi over 2, and that's where the radians comes from. And that would work for any of our radians on this diagram here. So if we zoom back out, we can start to fill in the table here for all of our quadrantal angles. But before we do that, let's go reference the diagram at the top and notice how each of our quadrantal angles has a coordinate written next to them. So notice that at 0 degrees or 0 radians, the coordinate is 1, 0. So I'm going to write that here, 1, 0. 90 degrees is 0, 1. 180 degrees is -1, 0. And 270 degrees is 0, -1. Now keep in mind that these are written as ordered pairs. So the first piece of the ordered pair is the x, and the second piece of the ordered pair is the y. So I can actually add that as a title column or a title cell here so that you know the reference for each one of these things below. Here we go. So now as we fill in the sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant, and cotangent, we can use each one of these ordered pairs to help us do that. We know from earlier that sine is y, cosine is x, tangent is y over x, cosecant is 1 over y, or the reciprocal of y. My dog wants to go out. Okay, so now we have secant theta, which is 1 over x, or the reciprocal of x, and then cotangent theta, which is x over y, or the reciprocal of y over x. So now, to find the sine of 0 degrees, or 0 radians, we just need to look at the y value. And let me change up my color here, which is 0. So sine of 0 degrees is 0. Cosine of 0 degrees, we would just need to look, actually, let me rewrite this so that it's all like consistent. So this would be sine of 0 degrees, or 0, and that would be 0 because of 0 as y. Cosine of 0 would be the x value, which would be 1. Tangent of 0 is y over x. So that's 0 over 1, which is 0, because 0 over anything is 0. Now, cosecant of theta, so cosecant of 0 is 1 over 0, or 1 over y, which is 0. You can never have a 0 denominator, so that makes this undefined. Secant of theta is 1 over x, so that's 1 over 1, which reduces to 1. And then cotangent theta, or cotangent 0, is x over y, so that would be 1 over 0 again, which is still undefined. So we've got 2 undefined functions for 0 degrees, which is interesting. So now let's take a look at 90 degrees. And you can write this as sine of 90 degrees or sine of pi over 2. Either one is going to give you the same output. So let's go ahead and start with sine of 90. And at 90 degrees, we're dealing with 0, 1 instead of 1, 0. So that would put our y at 1. So sine of 90 is 1. Cosine of 90 is going to put our x at 0. So that's going to be 0. And then tangent of 90 degrees is y over x. So that's going to be 1 over 0, which is undefined. cosecant of theta, or not theta, my bad, 90, is 1 over y, which was 1, so that reduces to 1. And then secant of 90 is 1 over x, and x here is 0. So 1 over 0 is undefined. And then finally, secant or cotangent of x over y. Cotangent of 90 is x over y, which is 0 over 1, which reduces to 0. And now we move on to our 180. And we just continue this same process. So sine of 180 is y, and y here is 0. Cosine of 180 is x, and x here is negative 1. Tangent of 180 is y over x, so that's 0 over negative 1, which is still 0. Cosecant of 180 is 1 over y, which is 0, so that is undefined again. Secant of 180 is 1 over x, so that's 1 over negative 1, which reduces to negative 1. And then cotangent of 180 is x over y, so that would be negative 1 over 0, which is undefined again. And then we just have one more left, and that is going to be our 270. So sine 270 is going to be y, so that's negative 1. Cosine of 270 is x, so that's 0. Tangent of 270 is y over x, so that's undefined again. And then cosecant of 270 is 1 over y, which is negative 1, so that's negative 1. Secant of 270 is 1 over x, which is 0, so that's undefined again. And then cotangent of 270 is x over y, so that's 0 over negative 1, which reduces to 0. Now there's some patterns here that I want you to notice. So I'm going to get rid of everything except for our solutions here. So notice here that we have two sections. We've got the sine, cosine, tangent section, and then we have the cosecant, secant, cotangent section. So with the sine, cosine, tangent section, we really only have one function that gives us undefined, and that's tangent. But in the inverse trig functions, cosecant, secant, cotangent, any of these functions could give us an undefined based on what is on the denominator. So if you have a fraction as a function, then you bear the risk of having a 0 on the denominator. And anytime a 0 would pop up on the denominator, that's when you get that undefined function. Also notice that 180 degrees and 270 degrees has negative 1 and negative 1 for the x and then the y. So that's where you're getting these negative 1 outputs here instead of the positive 1 outputs. See how you get the positive 1 outputs for the positive ones here, and you get the negative 1 outputs for the negative ones here. You've got this kind of checkerboard feel to the pattern where you've got 0, 1, 0, undefined, 1, undefined. And you'll notice that as you go through doing any type of functions, especially trig functions, that you get a lot of repeating patterns, and that goes along the same vein as understanding that trig functions are what we call periodic functions, which means that they repeat their own patterns periodically. And we can definitely see that here in this table of function output values.